What's up everyone, Armada here, and in today's video I will go over what was my toughest loss in my career, which actually might come as a surprise to a lot of people, but let's get into it. Going into Pound 5, I had my goal set, once again, to win a super major in the US. After placing second twice, and fourth once, I really wanted to win this one, and I felt good going into the event. H-Box that ended up beating me the last time, I had a secret weapon ready for, which was Young Link. Despite this, I once again ends up with a second place, third time out of 4 tries and against 3 different players. Mango at Genesis 1, H-Box at Apex 2010, and now PPMD at Pound 5 had all stopped me from winning the title I wanted to have, the best in the world. Both Genesis 1 and Pound 5 had many similarities. I was up 2-1 in winner's side of Grand Finals, and looking back at these events, I honestly feel that my nerves and mental game was so much worse back then that I let it slip out of my hands way easier than I should have done. Losing this event took really hard on me, and my motivation to keep playing for the first time ever started to disappear. It felt like regardless of how hard I tried, I could not keep my nerves together in the US. The crowd culture was the opposite of how it was in Europe, and I always had a hard time back then to play in those conditions. I always understood fan culture and country pride in competitions, but being on the receiving end in a country far away where people speak a language I barely could speak at the time when I was 16 to 18 years old was really hard to handle for sure. Going back to Sweden, I did not play Melee for a while. My console actually broke right before leaving for Pound 5, and after I came back home, I had no desire to play for quite some time. On top of this, Pound 5 went through financial problems and no prize money was given out. This put me in financial problems, because being afraid that the flights to Genesis 2 would increase in price, a friend of mine that also would attend Genesis 2 convinced me to let him pay for the flight and I could pay him back after Pound 5 had given me my prize money. With no money from Pound 5, I ended up in a very bad situation, and at the time my grandparents also thought it was time for me to move on from Smash, mainly because Pound 5 couldn't give out the prize money. Being broke and having no motivations was not a good look for me. But one day I went back to school and I saw a quote. The same quote I saw once I started high school, which was shortly after Genesis 1. The quote was, "If you refuse to accept anything but the best, you very often get it." Reading this quote brought back many memories of mine and reminded me a lot of the goals I had for this game when I started competing, just 11 years old. The very same day, I bought a new GameCube and started to practice for Genesis 2. This time I would make sure to win. So even if Pound 5 was my toughest loss, it very clearly made me a stronger player mentally, long term. And winning Genesis 2 honestly felt so much better when I knew that I had gone through so much, but afterwards winning Genesis 2 and achieving my childhood dream, it couldn't have had a better background story. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Please let me know in the comments below what was your toughest loss and how you overcame it. Or if you're currently fighting this battle, what's your plan to overcome it? If you like the channel, make sure to subscribe and see you all in the next video.